this idea for a snowman I'm going to make, and this is actually the back. What I want to do is for where I attach the arms and the legs, I want to put blocks like this. These two blocks will be for where I extend his arms from. This block is going to be where his two legs come out. What I want to use is this 7/8 diameter dowel. The head and body are too thin, as you can see, compared to the dowel's thickness. What I got for that is this, a 7/8 inch, well, hole maker. I put screws and 2 screws in each of these pieces of wood. I didn't put any in this long piece because I didn't feel like it was necessary. And that's what we have here so far. I think it looks pretty good. No clue how this is supposed to work. Oh, here we go. Cool. Is that the way I'm supposed to do it? Break it off? Here's how I cut his legs. One going in at an angle, as you can see, going back a little, and one going straight up and down. We've got the legs and arms in. I don't like that. I don't know how this happened, but the arms are in 2 different locations, but I guess in the end it won't matter. I mean, you know. And his legs are in 2 different locations, of course. That's what I wanted. So I've got a bunch of mittens here because I couldn't figure out which size. I wanted it oversized, and so I had to keep testing because I am sleepy today, and I didn't feel like coming out here to calculate how everything, so it was a lot of trial and error and wasting of ink. So I think I'm going to go with this one, and I think it's about this way it's 3.5 inches. So I think I may glue it on just like that and then do something to cover up the connection. Maybe. I think that's what I'm probably going to do. So I'm going to get some carbon paper, put this on some wood, cut it all out. Okay, I hope you can see this. It's going to be noisy, so I'm going to turn the sound down, but I wanted to explain. I think this is fence picket that I'm cutting. It's not quite an inch thick. It is pine, and depending on what kind of wood you use, pine is a very soft wood. Depending on how thick your wood is, and if it's a softwood or hardwood, is how fast this scroll saw is going to cut through. MDF cuts faster. I found that I can make letters, cut letters out with the scroll saw easier with MDF than with pine wood. And you can check out my letters that I did in my Santa door sign. I'll leave a link below and in the cards to show you what I mean. But here we go. Real time. And there's your mitten. I'm going to use just the top of the mitten across here on this 2x3 to make his shoes. So I'm just going to go across like that till I come off the edge of the wood, and across the other side same way. And that's all I'll do with this. Can you see that? So Just coming across here, just around the toe part of his shoe. I'm not sure how far down to come, maybe like this. Guess I could cut this off and then see if that's big or small. I'm going to attach the feet using hot glue and wood glue because I need it to stay. See, if I let that go, it'll spin all around. So I've drilled a hole in each of the feet right here. I also rounded the edges around the tip and around the sides like that on both the bottom and the top. But I'm going to fill this with wood glue and then put hot glue around the top edge, hoping that will keep it on in place until the wood glue dries. Try to get this on straight. That works. This one is going to be straightforward. This is the leg that's straight down to the ground. This one, the other one, is raised a little. And I want to keep it like this, sort of turned outward as he raises one of his legs. I don't know if you can see. I hope you can see. I'm piping in hot glue around the top edge of the hole so I can have instant bond. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach the mittens. I'm going to start painting him, and I'm going to start with his body being white and his head being white. I want to make the snowman's ice skating blades to go on the bottom of his shoes. So I printed out this little emblem here. It's supposed to be the blades. And I'm going to I'm going to use carbon paper to put it on this 2x3. Let me show you what I've been up to right here. I've made a hat for him and I tilted it kind of to the side. Right now I'm going to use this rotary tool to soften the sides, or I might just use it by hand, I'm not sure. I've been using this because I cut out some little blades for the bottom of his shoes, and they're going to go on here like this as soon as I figure out how I can get them on like this. I hope I'm in frame here like that. I cut down a piece of wood, 2x3. I cut it down a little bit to make it a little narrower, but I wanted to keep this at least some thickness because I need to drive a screw up in the bottom of this to get it into his foot. His foot will sit like this, so what I need to do is try to hit the mark exactly and get a screw up through here and here. I softened the edges on the blade because that's how I did his feet, soft edges. I also secured his hat like this, putting another piece of this wood on the back, driving screws. I glued it and drove screws through it. I'm going to be trying to attach the snowman to this 2x, I'm not sure what it is, 2x11, 12 or something. I only have this little thin piece here to attach, and maybe right here. I don't think it's going to hold up any other way. I've got a board sitting there to just kind of prop it up while I get the screw in. Okay, as you can see, I used some tape to tape up his legs in a spiral pattern. And I'm going to use this same candy apple red to paint where the white shows, so that when I take it off, his legs will be spirally red and white. I'm going to do a kind of triangle slash carroty nose for him. I'm doing it with this little piece of cut off wood. I just drew a line here and pinpointed the middle, and it did a line from the corner to the middle, corner to the middle, like that. Then I'm going to cut it with the jigsaw. That's funny, the way the light is hitting it, it looks like his nose is glowing. That's just the angle of the light. But I also have these doll eyes that I used on the sheep when I made the sheep, and I think I used them when I made the dog planter. I'll leave links to those. They're like little buttons. Well, I guess doll eyes or buttons or something. It's got a little loop on the back. And I'm going to cut that off with the wire cutters. So just with these wire cutters, the loop just snaps right off. It's real easy. Just pull against the edge of the button, pull, and it pops off. But there's like this residual piece left on here, so that if I try to glue the eye onto the snowman's face, it won't sit flat because there's this leftover bit here. So what I'm going to use to get this little leftover bit off is to use my rotary tool with the sander block and just sand it off. Okay, what I'm going to attempt to do right here is to make two big buttons for the front of our snowman's body. And I want to indent the middle and sort of round off this part around the edge. I'm going to cut the buttons out only after I've milled out the middle of this to make an indentation. I'm using these end milling bits and these CNC bits. I'll leave a link to these in my description box just in case you want to get these. And I'm using these with my router. And so I've already see, if you can see this line here, I've already cut out the edge of the inner circle. Just this one's a little lopsided. I've cut out the edge of it with this one here, this bit, sort of like to trace the end of it. They're very pointy, about 20 degrees pointed, if you can see that. And now I'm going to use one of these end milling bits, which I have in here, and now I'm just going to cut out, or I'm going to cut out all this middle portion of the circle. So here's the button. I sanded the mess out of it. It has rounded edges. It's not perfect. It's a little wonky shaped, but I think it turned out great. I got these two socks with the fluffy insides from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut off about, I guess, 2 inches and put some around his wrists and around his ankles. So let's see how it works out. Okay, so this is like this. So I guess it's about 1.5 inches, not really 2 inches. So I cut it kind of in half, and it has this the outside of the sock and the inside ruffle thing. I'm not going to take that apart because I kind of think it will keep the ruffle thick, you know, full. So I'm going to put it around his leg like this. It's a little challenging trying to cover up the black on the inside, but that looks good. Whoops. With this wrist one, I took off the backing of the black. I mean, I realized that it's just not helping. This is not adding to anything. So I have it half over the arm and half over the mitten for placement. Then I'm going to glue it in place, hoping I don't burn myself. That's one arm done, or one wrist done. I'm going to put a little bit more glue around the edges, like this. So with the rest of this scarf, where is it? With the rest of this sock, this is the other sock that I didn't cut. I actually now don't want to cut it now because I've cut the other. And I said I wanted to show you, but then I didn't. So let me see. I cut it up. Cut up one side like this, all the way up to the toe. Flipped it over and cut up the other side to the toe like that. And it ended up being, because I had cut off some here, the fluff on the inside is not attached, so you could just pull it out like this. So then I had this. See how it's cut up the side? It still has the toe, it still has the heel, but I thought I'd put some fringes in, which I actually want them a little deeper, like that. See that? Now I can put the scarf around his neck, and I'm going to try to twist it a little bit and disguise the heel a little bit. So I'm going to put it to the side. There we go. And I'm going to put some glue to kind of keep it in place. Okay, we're finally ready to put the ribbon in to the buttons. So I think I'm going to go in from the back first, and then go across here, pull in an excess amount to make sure I have enough. So I go crossways, then I come in from the back again and go on this one, and then I pull it tight across the back, and then I go across to make my X like fit. And there's my X. Then on the back, I'm just going to glue down these pieces to keep them in position, cut off the excess, and that'll be done. Now that I've put the X in, I'm starting to think that it would have been better if I had the holes a little bit more space, because it feels a little too tight in the middle. But that's okay. It is what it is. So I'm going to glue this piece down like that, and glue this end here like this, like that, and just cut off the excess like I said. There like this, and there's the middle. I hope that's in the middle. Decided that I wanted to liven up his hat a little bit, so I'm going to give it a little white band. So I taped off above and below. The last thing I want to do with this snowman is to put this pick on his hat. Okay, I cut each individual piece off. That's it. We're done.